Welcome, 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 everyone, to the sacred classroom this morning. In this video, we're going to talk about your soul mission, what your mission is, where to find it, how to begin a relationship so you can get clear and specific about what your mission looks like. And I've taught you all well in this space. I've taught you that all energy shows up on a spectrum. And this illuminated conversation we get to have today about our soul mission here on the planet, that's the highest octave of this conversation. We're also going to talk about the shadow aspects, or the lower octave of this conversation, which expresses as a longing, this longingness that we have in our life. And we're going to talk about the importance of being able to identify this longing and learn to work with this energy, because it can actually bring us to our soul mission and understanding it more clearly. However, if you do not know how to work with this energy, it creates a downward spiral in your life that will impact every area. And we don't want that for you illuminaries today. So say hello once you get here. I'm going to take just a moment and share this out. I want to make sure that we reach as many people as possible. Again, with this intimate and vulnerable conversation, I'm going to be sharing with you all aspects of my story that I think I've only shared once before. And it was in an intimate experience live on stage. I'm going to guess that almost 99.9% of you have not heard these parts of my story that I'm going to share here today. So I'm going to take a moment, get sharing. Please take a moment and share with me. Let's see. I got to go slow and mindful too, because if I try to do two things at once, like talk and share. Didi, hello. Shireen is here. Hello. Indonesia. Shireen, where are you coming from? Didi, thank you for sharing that. I'm coming to you from the high Sierras. My daughter is texting me. I already said it's hard to do more than one thing at once. Let's see. Let's also share this too. One more moment. Thank you all for your patience with me. Doreen is in the house. Hello, Doreen. If you have the option, by the way, everyone, to allow StreamYard access to your comments, I get to see more of them. And like I said, I'm excited to have this conversation with you all today. Shireen from South Africa. Right on. All right, for those of you who do not know me, my name is Emily Harrison. I'm the founder director of the Akashic Academy, and I work with visionaries and quantum thought leaders, teaching them how to shift their consciousness to tap into superconscious intelligence, the database of all knowledge, past, present, and future, recorded from a neutral perspective. It's like the universal manual on how things work, including ourselves. It is the best job in the world. And when I say job, let's start there and untangle a couple things. A lot of people think of job as work. We get to start thinking of our job as play. If your job does not feel like play, you're in the wrong job. I think that our job, our play, is the execution of our soul mission. Nancy Louise in the house. I love it. Hi, Tosh. I see you. Thank you for being here. So how did I get so lucky as to have the greatest job in the world, which is subjective? I'm holding space that every single one of you who are watching here live or on the replay get the opportunity to experience what it's like to love your job, your work, your play, your mission here on the planet. But this is not something that just fell into my lap. Okay? This is something that I had to do the work, the metaphysical work, the spiritual work, the quantum work for. the quantum play. I try to make it very fun in here. Who's excited to experience this too? If you would like to experience this kind of life, this kind of transformation where you get to show up every day and it feels like play and you love what you do, please identify yourself. Say me. Get some witness up in here. Can I get a witness? I created this job for myself, but it wasn't always like this for me, you guys. And this is the part of this story that I don't think many of you have heard before. But there was a time not too long ago. Most of you know that I was a Hollywood actress before my timeline shifted and I jumped into this new aspect of being a quantum teacher and a way shower. It's really what I am. I'm a teacher. But it wasn't always like this. So as I was coming to the conclusion, and I didn't really know that I was coming to the conclusion of the Hollywood chapter of my life, all I knew was that I was no longer fulfilled by something that used to drive me, something that I thought that I would never give up before, and it wasn't fulfilling me. And at this point, I had been maybe 15 years or so immersed in quantum studies, metaphysical studies. I studied every kind of energy healing. But mostly what I was doing was just getting the knowledge, and I would look through these new lenses and I would see the patterns of my life. Oh yeah, that's cool. But there was a lack of embodiment. There was a lack of purpose or a meaning with this esoteric wisdom that I was finding just so much sanctuary in, really. William says sound. Barney says try refreshing. Thanks, guys. Thanks for getting my back here on the tech side. If anybody else is having problems hearing, please let us know. But it might just be William. And I can remember an afternoon sitting in a doctor's office, my feet dangling, because I'm sitting up on the, what do you call those things? Exam table. Feeling like a little kid, except I'm not a little kid. I'm an adult, and I'm not adulting very well because I'm having an anxiety attack while my 3 kids are out. I got a weird bruise right there. I keep seeing it when I don't know where that came from. And I should flex when I show you that so you don't see the 45-year-old triceps there, okay? Hey team, let's cut that out in the replay. No, I'm just kidding. I will leave it in there for you. I want this to be fun. But I'm sitting there on this exam table having an anxiety attack because I feel like I'm failing at every aspect of my life. My 3 little kids are hanging out with nurses while I'm in the doctor's office being treated for depression, trying all kinds of different pharmaceutical medications that aren't working and that are increasing my anxiety. And the main problem that I was experiencing that the doctor could not diagnose for me, that only I could get real and truthful with my soul and diagnose for myself, was that I was no longer inspired by my life, by the life that I was creating for myself. And I was feeling this intense longing for something else that I couldn't really name. I couldn't put my finger on it. That's why this state can be so challenging. If you feel like you're in this state, send some love likes hearts across the screen. Share with me. It can be extremely challenging because we don't yet have vocabulary or a construct to even really understand what's shifting and changing in our life. And it wasn't long after this experience where I felt at the bottom, you guys, that I had a breakthrough experience, an embodied experience with my Akashic Records, and sharing that with others. This part of the story you all probably have heard before. Okay, I talk about I had been so self-studied in metaphysics that I had began to naturally kind of want to start working with other people and helping other people, but I didn't have training and I didn't know what that looked like until one day it just flew out of my mouth. There was somebody who needed some help, my neighbor who needed some help. And I said, do you want to come over for some energy healing? And he said, yes. And I had no idea what I was going to do, so I just winged it. And through the process of following the intuition and following the soul guidance, I was present to his father who had passed. His father came into my awareness, had a conversation with me that I was later able to share with my friend. And the conversation that I was able to share, there was so much validation, so many things that I couldn't have known. All that came through and healed my friend in a way that I wasn't expecting. I thought we were working on his ankle. We were really healing his soul. And that's when I found the Akashic Records and began to, my whole body's tingling, began to tap back into the resource that helps us discover what our soul purpose is and how it gets to express in the now moment. Thank you, Vanita. Vanita says, powerful. If you're feeling this, let me know. Send some love likes, hearts across the screen. Say yes. Type yes in the comments. So that was really step one for me that helped me tap into a space of intelligence where I had access to far more knowledge and resource than I did in my human experience. For those of you who are new to the Akashic Records are the realm of consciousness where all information, past, present, all possible futures, is recorded from a neutral perspective. Neutral means unconditional love and zero judgment. This is the most powerful quantum resource in the universe. And so when we learn to tap in to this space of higher intelligence, we can begin to ask the questions and receive the answers back. The answers flow back into your imagination. And we can begin to get clear on our soul purpose, uniquely, each one of us. And yes, the Akashic Records and bringing this technology back to the planet, I'm gonna call that my mission. But if I boiled that down to the essence of it, I'm a teacher. I'm a teacher, married with a storyteller, married with an entrepreneur. But at the essence of who I am, I'm a teacher. And I discovered this and what it was that I needed to teach and how I needed to teach it directly from my Akashic Records. If you feel like that this could be a valuable resource for you to tap into, I should say invaluable resource. Like, I mean, really, how valuable is that to be able to tap into your soul records and ask the questions that reveal the answers that you're looking for? Phenomenal. This changed my life. I downloaded a systematic way that I take every person into the records. It used to be that only mystics and great religious scholars, gifted, those who were born with their senses awake, could tap into the realm of the records. Now, as we're all waking up and turning on our senses together, there's methodology that will allow you to shift your consciousness and tap into this frequency. It's awesome. Not only did this change my life, I mean, I left Hollywood. I had dropped out of college. You guys know I dropped out of college. And we're on our way to being $1 million business here at the Akashic Academy. I love it. We get to be a huge part of how abundance gets to be circulated differently and the redistribution of wealth. I didn't know this about myself. The Akashic Records and your journey into consciousness will begin to reveal things about you that you've never known. And it will help you remember, because all of this is already within you, remember the truth of who you are. And so as I began to share with others how to systematically tap into the Akashic Records, other people's lives began changing too. It was phenomenal. I have a client, Cindy, that I worked with early on in doing this work, who cured herself of an autoimmune disease that had been prohibiting her from having a life outdoors for decades. I mean, think about what happens is you begin to learn to live with dis-ease and how that impacts every aspect of your life. And then it shifts and it opens. And you're in a completely different timeline. With this knowledge and intelligence, Ava was able to release the things that were standing in her way and publish her manuscript, which became, it won an award for fantasy fiction. It was phenomenal. And it was so amazing. She wrote it quite some time ago, many years before COVID. And this story was basically chronicling similar to what we experienced in modern day society with COVID. It was magical. Magical. So learning to read the Akashic Records and sharing this with other people began shifting that energy in my life incredibly. That longingness for more, I began to shift. I began, my health increased, all right? I was no longer on the antidepressants. Furthermore, my abundance increased. When you're walking in alignment with your soul mission and purpose, you will begin to tap into unseen resources of abundance. You get to experience yourself in a frequency of prosperity. I'll speak for myself and many of my clients as well, but I'll speak for myself in this moment, that I've never experienced before. Even in the acting world, when I got paid a lot of money to show up on set, I was still completely under the direction of someone else and at the will and mercy of the casting director who was going to choose me. There was no self-initiation in creating my own job. This affected my relationship with my kids. Yeah, happy birthday, Katie. Not being able to show up fully with my children because of the anxiety and the depression that I was feeling. If we don't call forward the experience and say yes to it when it gets there, as we're in that longingness, right? And we're like, help, get me out of here. I'm done. Then something will show up and you will be required to say yes to it. Maybe this is that experience for you. When that experience opened for me, I said yes to it and boom, made it through the first gateway, right? But it didn't stop there. Here's the next cool piece that I learned that I want to share with you all that will help accelerate getting you clear on what your mission is, release the things that are standing in your way, and help you hold the frequency of that timeline. Okay? There's a special formula that I found that makes the work so impactful. So having access to universal consciousness is number one. I know, it's like that should be enough, but it gets better. Then I began working with the Akashic Records under the celestial gateways. I started with the new and full moon. I saw Miss Nancy Louise in here. Nancy has been a loyal Akashic Academy follower and fan and member since the beginning. And Nancy, you probably remember when we used to do full and new moon ceremonies? We honored the eclipse gateways. Guess what? It's coming back. Shh. I don't want to talk about all of that. I'll talk about that a little bit later. But just a little nugget for you guys. We've got lots of fun stuff coming back up. Yes, we had a blast with those ceremonies, didn't we? So I found that when I began to marry the knowledge of the Akashic Records and use it in the gateways, the galactic gateways, I started to have even more and more success, and so did my clients. Guess what's coming up? You guys know Lionsgate is coming up, right? Lionsgate, we've opened the Lionsgate energy and it peaks on August 8th. This is one of the most powerful gateways of the year. It's where we align to the constellation Sirius, and the Leo energy is activated within you. Your courage, your compassion, your leadership, your clarity. Oh, this has soul mission written all over it, you all. And the invitation that I want to share with you all will be a way that you can maximize this Lionsgate energy. If you're feeling the Lionsgate energy already, send some love, likes, hearts across the screen. Type Lionsgate in the comments for me. Woo! Yeah, I love it. You guys are feeling it. So as I began to work with the celestial gateways, I was in even more awe of how I could transform my life. Okay, so that was special sauce, secret ingredient number 2. Secret ingredient number 3. And one of the most important, they're all so important. They've got to be in balance. But this one's big, and this one is missing for almost every person on the planet. I still work on this. We all do. The invitation that I have for you all is truly nothing more than inviting you into my own training process as a light worker on how I stay active and sharp and connected to the highest degree. Okay, but secret sauce number 3 that really, and I say that this one is most important. I understand why I said that now, because this is the one that where the physical shifts, where what I was doing in my mind and thoughts and emotions began to translate in the physical reality, in the physical world. I tapped into the chakra points, the vortexes, the places on the planet where powerful streams of consciousness are pulsing through these locations. And why is it so important to tap into these locations on planet Earth? Because Earth is our embodiment zone. This is our home turf where all the creation and work is done. And we know that our bodies are a holographic representation of the planet. Back on that exam, hang on. Let me just not talk with my hands so much. Back on that exam table that I shared with you all in my transition time from Hollywood into being a teacher of esoteric knowledge, my feet hanging there, and that depression coming up. Man, as I talk about it, I just go, whew, Nancy says my arms are great. Ooh, as I go back to it, I feel that energy coming up again. Find that shred of hope in where it is in you all, everyone. That's what I had to tap into in that moment in order to turn my life around really, really quickly. I would say this was probably about 7 years ago, to being clinically diagnosed as depressed, taking medication, not able to show up to take care of my children, not having a way to embody all of the esoteric knowledge that was coming in. Embodiment, embodiment, embodiment. Notice if this is resonating within you. I had access to the knowledge, and I saw how it was really cool and it made sense, but I had yet to transform my life in my own personal world with it. So definitely no way I could show up and make an impact for others with this, because I hadn't experienced the embodiment myself. And this completely changed after I began connecting into the vortex locations on Mother Earth. I quintupled my revenue in my business within 8 months. I spoke on stage at Harvard University, a college dropout. That was a fun one for me to negotiate backstage right before I went. I'm like, hang on a second. And I have been able to continue creating a business, my job, my mission, how I show up and serve on the planet in a way that is so fun and exciting and creates massive breakthrough for people that I love. My clients, my students that come to me, there is a love that develops there that brings us all back into this state of power for magical results to happen. And this is what I want to share with you all today. So for those of you who do not yet have full creative authority over your world, which by the way, if I don't continue to do the work myself, I lose full creative authority over my world. I don't have it all the time unless I choose to do the work that keeps me connected to that higher frequency of energy. And I personally find that in modern day now, incarnating as a human requires something special, especially if you know that you are here to make big impact on the planet. We're seeing a resurgence of masters reincarnating here on the planet, and most of them haven't even understood that they are masters yet. This is a challenging role, everybody. My acting teacher used to talk about the roles that were 5-pound weights, very easy to do. Those are the Claritin commercials. And then there are the 40-pound weights. I'm totally flexing on this one. There are the 40-pound weights where, you know, you're showing up and you're talking to your child on the day that you found out your parent passed away and she's never going to talk to her grandmother again. That's the 40-pound weight, right? Our incarnation here as light workers, because our job is so important right now, as we embody and we project more light because we're happier and we're more abundant and we're more authentic and we're more creative and we're more on purpose and we love each other more and we take better care of each other and we protect each other and we cultivate and prioritize inner peace. This is what shifts the consciousness of the planet. This is what will bring more light into our planet. This is the work that you're being invited into. So I want to invite you to come do it with me. So for myself, so I can stay in full creative authority of my world and not get overworked and scattered by all of the pieces. So I can have the competitive edge to manifest and to create at will. So I can have embodied and visceral experiences with ascended masters and my Akashic Records, because I do not want to settle for the limitation of my 3D wisdom or skill set. I've created, through the Akashic Records, created experiences. I like that phrasing. I really also like the phrasing of, I've downloaded technology. Yeah, it's co-creation. I've been able to download technology from the Akashic Records that creates a beautiful opportunity to understand what is possible and what is at stake on our planet right now. So I want to share my screen with you. I want to show you the 3 ascension gateways that I want to invite you into this Lion's Gate starting August 8th. Okay. Screen sharing. Wait a second. I practiced this before we came on and now it looks different. Hang on. Oh, there we go. Share my application window. That's what I want. Nope. Booyah. Okay. I want to share with you, so we can see it. Yes. Virtual Mount Shasta linking to Earth's vortexes. This is an opportunity for each one of you to create portals of connection from your homes, from your location on the surface of the planet, into this earth energy inside of Mount Shasta, this powerful embodiment energy. Under the galactic alignment of Lionsgate, and each day going into a state of higher consciousness, I will lead you into this higher state of consciousness, tap you into the Akashic Records, where we will focus on these 3 specific aspects. Okay? Gateway number 1 is about removing the resistance. If you are a quantum healer or you're seeking quantum healing, you must know that this step of removing the resistance is imperative to you getting the results for yourself and your clients, that whatever your method is, because they all work, especially when the person who's bringing through a particular method is in love with that method. It's going to work if you clear resistance in the field, if you clear attachments. Okay? This will make all of the healing work that you do massively more effective, exponentially more effective. This in and of itself, for those of you who are quantum entrepreneurs, this right here will have a bottom line impact on your revenue, because your results are going to go up hugely. Who feels like that would be a good gateway for them to go through? This means love like hearts across the screen. Type release resistance if you're ready to release the resistance. And resistance can be a sticky thing, but it won't be a problem with Lionsgate and Mount Shasta and your Akashic Records. All right, we've got the trifecta here to support you. Let's talk about Ascension Gateway number 2. Ascension Gateway number 2, you will download your soul mission. I promise you, because I've done it before with many visionaries, there are questions I can ask you in the space of your Akashic Records that will reveal to you your mission. I will ask you these questions in Gateway number 2 in your Akashic Records, and you will write down and walk away with a plan in your hand of what your soul mission looks like. Yes. Type soul mission if you're ready to download your soul mission from the Akashic Records. Yes. And then Ascension Gateway number 3, we're going to show up like masters. There are techniques used by the ancient masters, mystics, Native American shaman, visionaries. Techniques that we collectively join together in a higher state of consciousness and project our vision into the planetary grids. There will be 2 specific grids that we're working with. We're working with the grids inside the planet, known as the dragon lines, the ley lines, the crystalline grids. All 3 of those are the same name. The different names for the same thing. And we'll be working with the Christed consciousness grid, which is the dodecahedron that surrounds the planet. The Native Americans talked about this platonic solid, this geometric structure, as the mechanism through which we all project and create reality, the waking dream. So on Ascension Gateway number 3, you will participate in enlivening the grids with the consciousness of your soul mission. in the frequency that will allow you to vibrate in the timeline of your soul mission as it materializes in the physical. Write support in the comments if you're tired of doing this by yourself and you're ready to work at a high level with other visionaries, and call in the planetary and galactic forces to support you. Type support. You don't have to do this alone. These are going to happen live from 9 to 10 a.m. Pacific each morning, the 8th, the 9th, and the 10th. There will be replays, and you will have lifetime access to what you experience either live or on the replay during these Ascension Gateways. And there are free gifts. There are amazing free gifts. I'm going to scroll my screen just a little bit right here. Let's move up to free gifts. All right, free gift number 1 is the pyramid manifestation. I giggle because this is ridiculous. That's so fun. I am taking a group of my VIP clients, my Akashic alchemists that have been training with me for the past year, into Mount Shasta physically for this experience. We will be with you live those 3 mornings. The rest of the time, I have some pretty exciting things planned for my alchemists that will continue to expand and activate them. And one of the excursions is taking them into a secret pyramid. It is an exact replica of the Great Pyramid of Giza, and it faces the mountain. And there, we're all going to be going in for vision manifestation and meditation. And I will take with me inside each one of your visions of what it is that you want to create and manifest. We are also offering you, this one is huge, the beginning training for learning to read the Akashic Records. Okay? The Akashic Record training, the beginner's course, is it's something a la carte that you can get right now. It's a $333 value. It's also brand new. And I'm so excited to share this training. This is that core intelligence that I shared with you all, that I've shared with hundreds of people across the planet, certifying them in the Akashic Records. This is that training that you will get for free. You will also get a 30-day membership to, okay, it says the Akashic Academy there. I'm going to let you in on something else a little behind the scenes, because we are getting this space, this membership space, back up and running. It's going to be called the Ether. How cool is that? So you will be first on the list for access to everything that comes to you all in the space of the Ether. You're also going to get a cheat sheet guide on how to open up a vortex in your own home. This thing is ridiculously cool. And you're going to get a 50% off coupon for any other training, any other automated training that feels in alignment for you. We've got business training. I talked about, once I connected into the root chakra of the planet, these planetary vortexes, I quintupled my income. That's the quantum work that I did behind it. There are formulas and structures and things that I have put together that I actually did physically in my business. So for those of you who are entrepreneurs, maybe you want to dive into some of that Akashic business training, you'll have a 50% off coupon. The investment on this experience is $777, but you'll see that we are still in the introductory phase where you can dive into this experience at $555. And I am so excited to invite you all into this experience. I will let you know that this past week I've done a press circuit. I'm going to let you stop sharing and get big with you again. And had the opportunity to visit the platforms of so many of my respected colleagues and fellow quantum thought leaders and visionaries. It's been, I have to say, it's been a week of so much validation I can say every single one of the thought leaders that I reached out to and shared this experience with got so excited about it. They've been promoting it like crazy. They've signed up themselves. And we are getting to the place where our space is limited. This is a limited seating again. Take 3, 2. Limited seating engagement. Okay. And the price will go up on August 1st. So if you are interested in diving into this, please do it right away, sooner than later, because I want you to be there. Let's see. I'm going to post. I posted at the top of every place we're broadcasting the comments. So scroll through till you find the comments. I'm going to go back and post it again for you all. Again, what a privilege and honor to invite you all into the training that I have downloaded for myself. So I am seeking the highest level of activation, the purest access to my genius. And I look forward to showing up in a world where my fellow humans have that same motivation and inspiration to be their best, to understand themselves at their best, and to create something magnificent here on the planet together. I love you all. This concludes what I wanted to share with you all today. I am going to stay on for a few more moments here and take any questions that you all have about this event. So if you have any questions, go ahead and type those in the comments. I'm also going to check in here, the couple other places that we're broadcasting, and check for questions. Also, feel free to send me a private message if you have questions or if you have concerns that this may or may not be the right thing for you. Let's talk about it. Okay. David Vega in the house, Lisanne, Barbara Parker, Louise. Hey, everyone. Just scrolling through, looking for questions, everybody. Anybody have any questions about this event or how this event might be able to help or support you? Send them on in if you have them. All right, I'm not seeing any questions come up. So we are going to wrap up for today. I will be checking back through the rest of the day for your questions. Again, feel free to reach out to me personally if you want to have a conversation about whether or not this is the right next step for you, but it has been my privilege and joy to share with you today. It is my intention that going through these ascension gateways with specificity and intention on how we want to direct the cosmic and the planetary energies are going to become something that is a global game changer for quantum visionaries and thought leaders here on the planet. Thank you for letting me serve you all with my creativity, with my genius. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your Saturday. And I'll see you back here again real soon.